Intro. My brother and I love to learn and research about so many different things. I wasn't always like that. In high school, I wasn't very interested in learning. Everything was based upon short-term memory. I had friends who could cram the night before and get straight A's. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. Now, long-term memory, I'm excellent at that. Long-term memories brought me to a point where I could see the thread that ties us all together. My brother and I are constantly learning and growing. I remember years ago hearing the word harmony when it was a foreign concept. The great sages of China talked about it numerous times. It was a part of their doctrine. For the last 50 years, I've combined inner wisdom with external wisdom, inner harmony with external harmony. This book will go over some of the things I've embraced myself since COVID began. COVID was the starting point. You see, inner harmony is not the norm in society. Stress and chaos is the name of the game. We spend more money on our health care, and yet we're among the sickest countries in the world. This is from the book Eat to Defeat Disease by William W. Lee. I experienced the ramifications this firsthand in my own practice of medicine. When I was taking care of my older patients at a hospital for veterans, I often wondered what happened to their bodies. These patients, mostly men, were once specimens of perfect fitness, trained as warriors to fight for their country. By the time I saw them decades later, they were often overweight, if not downright obese, diabetic, ravaged by terrible heart and lung disease, and often cancer. As their doctors, I would give them the news of a terrible diagnosis. They would ask me, how bad is it? What is the treatment? How long do I have to live? I would give them my best estimate. Then, as they were leaving my office, they would almost invariably turn and ask me, "Hey doc, what can I eat so I can help myself?" I didn't have an answer to that question because I haven't been educated or trained to deal with it. That struck me as wrong, and thus I began the journey to seek the answers that led me to write this book. This book contains the introductions for all the books that I wrote. I try to see inner harmony in all aspects of my life. The world can change. Each one of us can tap into inner harmony. Mind you, it is an endless process, but a glorious process. Thanks to my brother John for the background music.
This book isn't solely about me and my adventures. No man is an island. The world around me helped me to where I am today. All my teachers, family, and friends taught me about the web of life. We are all interconnected in ways we can't even imagine. This book will help detail the web of people who helped me on this journey. At times, I will stop and reflect the impact they had on my life.
No man is an island. The world around me helped me to where I am today. All my teachers, family, and friends taught me about the web of life. We are all interconnected in ways we can't even imagine. This book will help detail the web of people who helped me on my journey.
Once upon a time, many, many moons ago, lived the dragons. They lived where the British Isles are today. Now these dragons weren't exactly nice. In fact, they were mean. Dragons in the past were kind and caring, yet over time, they lost their awareness. It may seem strange to us, but they love to bicker and quarrel. They love to be angry. They love to create war. That was their form of excitement. This went on for thousands of years. You see, dragons can live to a dear old age. These dragons caused a lot of discomfort in the countryside in the British Isles. Imagine waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and seeing your precious cow taken away by the dragons. Man would hide all valuables and jewels. The dragons had a sixth sense to find them and steal them. It was true that dragons loved to hoard their wealth. Unfortunately, they couldn't do anything with them. They just loved to sit in their caves and sit on their wealth. Greed came upon them. They didn't know how to share with one another. Consequently, there was a lot of fighting with one another. It seemed like where life was miserable. There was no contentment in their life, no happiness or kindness, not even love. All the dragons were in the same empty boat. They were like ghosts where nothing could fill them up. No wonder man was fearful of the dragons. They were horrible beings. They were up to no good. Man had good reason to be wary of them. During the Crusades, man had the weapons to start fighting the dragons. It was not a glorious time for man and dragons. Many of the traits the dragons had, man embraced. It seemed like man and dragons, at this point in time, had misery in common. Both of them lost the true direction to find the hidden jewel inside. You can't blame them. They never knew it existed inside. The years went by and the conflict never got better. It just got worse. The dragons were being hunted down and killed one by one. It wasn't a pretty sight. One day, a baby dragon was born during the darkest times. This dragon couldn't relate to anger, war, and greed. All the other dragons thought he was a misfit. All he wanted to do was have fun. He was extremely intelligent and had a lot of humor. He made other dragons laugh. The elders disapproved of this. When he learned to fly, he would go off alone and soar in the sky. He was free at that moment, not a care in the world. He loved that feeling. Somehow he knew that the true nature of a dragon is true freedom. He discovered that kindness, love, compassion, and patience was his true nature. Well, the old elder dragons did not like that at all. They told him that he had to stop this nonsense. You see, the other young dragons liked what they were seeing. They looked how Zoran, the young dragon, was turning their lives upside down. They thought that war, anger, and stealing was truly the way. Now, a young dragon, Zoran, clearly walked on a different path and didn't have a care in the world. Zoran's father had a huge pile of precious jewels, yet Zoran wasn't interested in the slightest. He told his dad the greatest jewels in the universe lie inside. Well, that didn't go over so well. Dad was furious. He was already furious and angry. Remember at that time, the dragons had quite the temper tantrums. Well, this was like putting gasoline on the fire. His dad exploded. Who do you think you are to say such a thing? Saran knew not to say anything. Sometimes it's wise to be silent. All of the other elders talked with one another about this situation. What are we going to do with Saran? He is wreaking havoc with his tribes. They decided to give him a little time to see if anything would change. Well, it didn't. Saran was moment by moment learning how to meditate. He was diving deeper than ever inside of the infinite ocean within. Now you see, these dragons are scared of water. They are fire dragons. Water will extinguish the fire within. Water will extinguish war, anger, and greed. They thought this was their true nature. Saran discovered something the entire dragon world didn't know. You are the universe. You just don't know it. Well, that was the final straw. They had a council meeting and decided to throw him out. He was still young for a dragon. He was 100 years old. You see, the dragons could live for thousands of years. So he was told to leave and never return. He was cast out of his home. But there's another story to this. A few young dragons decided to go secretly along with Saran on his grand adventure. Saran at this time was getting guidance within. One dark and moonless night, they flew out of the cave, never to return again. The rest is history. Saran hears the east might be a great place to go. They had high and magnificent mountains far from man and other dragons. Up until that time, dragons were extremely rare in the east. They were quite unknown. So they flew away into the darkness of night. The journey was just starting. They had no idea the steps they were going to take. Saran and his friends traveled only during the night. They didn't want other dragons or man to discover them on their flight. When they flew over the lakes, rivers, seas, and oceans, they would eat the fish along the way. Fish was extremely plentiful. They discovered it was tastier than cows. Furthermore, they didn't have to be worried stealing cows and being captured. Man was slowly learning how to trap the dragons. There were even dragon slayers as a profession. Times have changed. It took 3 solid months to arrive at their destination. They landed in the high mountains in Tibet, far from man and other dragons. It was winter time. They had to fly in fierce snowstorms and bitter winds. Fortunately, they were fire dragons and could keep warm. A water dragon might have frozen to death. Saran and friends found a beautiful cave to live in. It was huge and had an opening where they could fly in and out. So they set up camp and called it home. Well, winters last for a long time in Tibet, especially at high altitudes. You can only have so much external conversation with one another. Saran taught them how to meditate. It was slow going at first. None of the dragons realized how powerful the mind was. Saran simply instructed them to follow their breath. The dragons thought this should be easy. They learned that was more difficult than learning how to fly. You see, even for dragons, flying took time and effort. You had to work at it. They say conquering your mind is the most difficult thing in the universe. Well, the young dragons will completely agree. Since it was winter time, they had all the times in their life. Slowly, they took small baby steps along the way.
When winter was over, they took to the skies. They loved the external and internal feelings of flying. Wow, I'm free. I'm not bound to anything. The seasons came and went. Winter has arrived again. They spent their time in meditation. Imagine this went on for hundreds of years. Zoran and his friends were discovering they were the universe. The universe existed inside of them. They were truly discovering their true nature. They were becoming wise. They knew how to laugh and play. They truly enjoyed each other's company. These dragons lost their old egos from the past. They became the first master dragons of their time. Mind you, for their time, dragons are eternal. They are timeless. Zoran and his friends discovered that their true essence was the universe. Well, one day, an incident occurred. While the dragons were flying and having a merry good time, some small youngsters saw the dragons in the sky. They got very excited. They heard old folk tales from their ancestors about dragons flying in the sky. As youngsters, they didn't want to worry their parents. Their moms and dads already had too much on their plate. You see, they were farmers and herders. Life was tough enough as it was. They didn't need another burden. These youngsters started to see them flying more, often during the spring, summer, and fall. During the winter, they never saw them. This went on for many seasons. The youngsters married, had children, and their children had children. It was now a common sight to see, yet nobody ever saw them in person. They were like the UFOs we're seeing today. You see them, but never have a close encounter. One day, during spring, a group of youngsters went exploring. They saw this huge cave with a large opening. They decided to go in. They weren't scared, but were hesitant. Slowly, they walked, step by step, into the cave. To their amazement, they saw Zoran and his friends meditating. It was a sight to behold. They weren't scared at all. In fact, they were so happy and full of love. They had never experienced anything quite like it. The dragons woke up and saw the children sitting there with their eyes wide open. They couldn't believe what they saw. Now the dragons don't speak their language, but they have the capability for non-verbal communication. This means, without saying words, the children could hear from inside of them what the dragons said. The children never saw such a thing like this before. This started a brand new life for the children. They were told, don't tell anyone else. Someday, when this time is right, we will show ourselves to the village. These children came back day after day. The dragons took them on flying rides, which are still being talked about today. Imagine flying on the backs of the dragons. They never experienced such freedom and joy. The dragons slowly taught them how to meditate. They taught them and showed them that kindness, love, and compassion is the true way to live. They did not preach or try to convince anyone. The dragons were pure and didn't have anything to prove, yet their essence rubbed off on the youngsters. Slowly, over time, they embraced these qualities. Mind you, this was a time in Tibet, in China, where war was all around. The same problems that existed in the West existed in the East. Generation after generation, the youngsters migrated to the dragons. The parents and grandparents knew what was going on. They have spent precious time with the dragons and took their wisdom into their daily life. You see, the spiritual path is the most practical path. These small villages were becoming wise. One was a young boy named Confucius. He was seeing his transformation from the dragons and put them into practice. He discovered a system that is still in place in China today. All his wisdom came from spending time with the dragons. He then carried it on his journey in life, and we have a great tradition today. One of the earliest students was Lao Tzu. He was truly a man of nature. He spent a considerable amount of time with the dragons. Even at a young age, he was wise beyond his time. Even the dragons were amused at his knowledge and wisdom. At times, it seemed that his wisdom was beyond theirs. Mind you, these dragons were thousands of years old. Lao Tzu was only around 10 years old. Needless to say, there was great friendship and understanding with each other. At that time, China and Tibet couldn't understand the simplicity of Lao Tzu and the dragons. Lao Tzu really didn't care about politics and worldly affairs. He hardly ever went to cities. They were a complete distraction. Man really wasn't open to wisdom or knowledge at this time. So Lao Tzu spent a lot of time with the dragons in nature. You see, Lao Tzu could see the unity of all life. There is a story that when Lao Tzu was going to leave this world, a small group approached him high in the mountains. They begged for some insight and wisdom. Today, we have the Tao Te Ching, one of the greatest books. Lao Tzu went with some dragons and never returned. His wisdom is still alive today. Today, the dragons are revered all over the East. Wherever you go in China, you will see dragons as flags or statues. Their wisdom is still alive today. Unfortunately, in the West, not much has changed. Dragons are something to be fearful of. Stories are still being told of dragons hoarding wealth. Dragon slayers were the savior of mankind. Isn't it amazing? The times really haven't changed much. We still are angry. We still think that wars can solve our issues. Maybe, just maybe, we can learn from the dragon. Our nature is the universe. The new dawning of man is here. You are stardust. Hi kids, let's gather around the campfire. Wow, look at the millions of stars in the sky. Did you know that you are stardust? You came from the stars. Here's the kicker. You are the universe. You just don't know it. Your true nature is kindness. Your true nature is love and compassion. This story begins a long time ago. In fact, millions of years ago. Imagine there was a planet much like Earth. They went through the same craziness that man has gone through. War was rampant throughout the land. Quite frankly, people were good, but the leaders, not so good. They were only interested in power and greed. Yet, your true nature is kindness. Life is like a grand hide-and-seek game. In order for the civilization to truly mature, they must discover the diamond inside. Only by discovering kindness inside will you truly be kind in your life. You can be highly advanced in technology, but if you don't get along with others, you're missing the point in life. Did you know that it takes around 1 million years for an entire civilization to go from darkness to light. That's a long time. Yet in the end, heaven truly comes to earth. Imagine a world where everyone gets along with each other. Imagine being in school and there are no bullies. Nobody will ever pick on you or call you names. This is gone from the culture a long time ago. You see, the kids and adults could literally see the web of all life tying us all together. This web is true love. They had an interesting way to teach one another. They didn't have desks all lined up in rows. The teacher was teaching ahead of the classroom. They taught in nature under a huge tree. There's a huge circle where the kids would sit around. The teacher would slowly teach and walk around the circle. Each day, the kids would move to a different part of the circle, so they would sit beside someone different. This helped prevent cliques. The children loved to learn. They were highly advanced. Can you imagine that every kid knew he was the universe and knew it from experience? She was the sun, moon, and stars walking around in a human body. How would you like to create rainbows in the sky using your hands? Not only that, but each rainbow played an incredible melody. Groups of children would have an orchestra in the sky. We never heard such sweet melodies. It's like the universe itself was playing music. In fact, it was. The kids were in tune with the universe. Beethoven would have loved it. Each one of the kids was incredible conductors. Imagine a world where there's no crime, there's no poverty, no lack of food, no illness. You see, once the civilization understands and experiences the laws of the universe, all these problems can be solved. Yes, it takes around 1 million years. Unfortunately, some worlds don't make it. They have a tendency to blow themselves up. You see, we have free will. You can change for the better, or you can destroy yourself. Quite frankly, those are the two options. There is a point where each person decides. Imagine at a certain point your world starts to change dramatically. Slowly, you begin to look transparent, much like Casper the Friendly Ghost. You start to be more multidimensional in nature. You are no longer physical. You have become pure energy in nature. Now the fun comes. Imagine going anywhere in the universe in less than a second. How's that for a cosmic ride? Talk about a roller coaster ride. You and your friends can go anywhere in less than a second. Imagine the entire knowledge of the universe is inside. What does that mean? It means as a kid, you are extremely wise. You are not limited. You don't have to learn your ABCs. You have a PhD from the universe. You are wise beyond belief. This is your true nature. You are wise and kind. You have learned that without kindness, you never can be wise. Nature only gives her secrets when you are kind. Nature is not a bully or mock one another. Here's the kicker. You still are an individual, yet at the same time, you are one with the universe. Now, that's a paradox. Imagine a cosmic soup. It has many different ingredients, yet you can't take out a certain ingredient. We are talking about quantum energy. Boy, Einstein would have loved this. Imagine in his mind, he created those theories. How would it be if he had the capability to imagine them in his mind at the same time, practically becoming the experiment? Imagine E equals mc squared. He can go from mass to pure energy and back to mass again. Now, that would be exciting. Inside of you lies the laboratory of life. Imagine all sorts of incredible inventions would be developed. When a civilization lines itself with the universe, all sorts of incredible inventions will happen. You see, nature will trust you. In our present day world, we let the genie out of the bottle. We create nuclear bombs. Now we have a threat that we can destroy the entire world. We don't know how to put the genie back inside the bottle. The only way out of this creation is to find the jewel inside. It's been there the entire time. Remember, you are a piece of the puzzle. Keys to life. Unlocking the laws of the universe. Practical, down-to-earth methods for a better life. This book is dedicated for all those whose lives have been spent in bringing peace to this planet. Wherever you are, we bow our heads. May peace be on this earth. We are all united with the thread of love. May each one of us realize the garland of life. Introduction. Allah, by definition in this book, is like guidelines for divine qualities that exist, that if you are in harmony with them, the quality of your life in all areas will improve. This life is a grand adventure. We are so fortunate and lucky to be alive. There is so much to be grateful for, regardless of our circumstances. We all possess inside of our very own essence the keys to life and the unfolding of its vast mysteries. Did you know that contained within your DNA, the knowledge and wisdom of the entire universe resides? Each of us is a unique gift from God. We are all so different, yet the essence is the same. This book will hopefully begin to unlock the great mysteries that lie within your very own essence. Your true essence is infinite love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, and happiness. These qualities are life, or the building blocks of the entire universe in the seen and unseen worlds. Beyond all dimensions, beyond time and space, these divine qualities exist. You could say that love is the foundation of all life. Look at the diverse world we live in. Look how incredible nature is. We don't just have one kind of apple, but there are literally thousands of different kinds of apples. Look at how diverse the planet is. It really is a gift from God. Behind all creation lies the power of life. Everything is alive. Everything is aware. Yet do we have the eyes to see this? Behind the power of life is the power of infinite love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, and happiness. These are just a few of the divine qualities that make up the universe, the sun, the moon, and the stars. Every little living thing in this world has these divine qualities. These qualities of infinite love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, and happiness are infused with life itself. The whole of creation is infused with these divine qualities. Look at the innocence of a newborn baby.
The newborn directly reflects those qualities. Yet, unfortunately, as we grow older, we forget and lose these precious gifts of life. We get so preoccupied with our 9 to 5 existence that we forget about how incredible it is to be alive. We forget that our very own essence is infinite love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, and happiness. This is our true nature. It doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. Your essence is love. You are hardwired with love. Every single cell of your body is love. Love is the intelligence behind all life. Love is the power that creates the sun, the moon, and the stars. Love is the power that keeps you alive. These are not just some emotional qualities that man created. These are divine qualities that are infinite, beyond time and space, is, was, and will always be. These divine qualities are the building blocks and foundation for all life, for all creation. This is our true nature. In essence, we are infinite love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, and happiness. So the question is, where is it? Why have we forgotten our true nature? Where is our true happiness and love? Why is my life not going in the direction I hoped and dreamed for? These are questions to ask yourself. At times, we live our life at a totally unconscious level. We go through this life struggling and reacting to the winds of change that blow all around. We go around complaining about life, complaining how we have a bad deck of cards dealt to us. We are at times like the leaves blowing in the wind. In this state of mind, we are reactive beings. This has been man's path for thousands of years. Living in this condition, we have wars. Nations are separate, and we fight for our own existence. We can't see the common denominator, the thread of love tying us all together. Our relationships and the way we treat each other in this world is not much to be desired. We need to understand that there's another way to exist. There's another way to be and behave. This life we have is so incredible, yet we are merely skimming the surface. We live most of the time unconscious. We have forgotten that there is a diamond that lies within the vast ocean of love inside of your being. This diamond is your very own essence. It is life itself. It is keeping you alive. This is what all religions talk about. The kingdom of heaven lies within. The entire treasure chest of the whole universe is contained inside of your being. In fact, you are the universe. You will always be. You can never die. Your essence is the building blocks of all creations. You have simply forgotten. It is time to wake up from your nap. It's time to realize that you can change and that all you have to do is wake up to your incredible essence. You are already enlightened. You just simply aren't aware of it. Your nature is divine. You are good, but at times you don't always reflect it. This book is about discovering your true nature and taking over the reins of your life. You're meant to be a co-creator. You're designed to bring all of your divine qualities to life. You're meant to be a direct reflection of God. You are meant to be divine. In fact, this is what the word human means. Hu means divine. Man means mind. For the majority of mankind, we live only and are aware of our conscious mind. A true human lives and knows how to integrate the mind and heart together. There is no separation and distance between the two. A true human realizes that the unconscious mind is truly the main driver in life. Scientists have already realized that the unconscious mind is the force behind everything. It literally drives your life. Your external life is a reflection of your unconscious mind. In order to change anything, we must change your unconscious mind. Since the day you were born, you have begun to program your life. Every event and circumstance in your life, you have learned how to program. You have learned how to adapt. Yet over time, we have forgotten that we are the source code of life. We have forgotten that our subconscious mind is truly in charge and directs the outcomes in our life. We think that we truly can't have what we dream for. We think that we can't be truly in charge of our life and direct it what we truly desire. This is the state that we are in. We have forgotten that we hold the keys to life. We use these keys to unlock the doors within and discover that we can turn our life around. We can experience that the mysteries of life exist inside and our very own essence. In that state we call empowerment. We are the sun, the moon, and the stars, and are walking around in a human body complaining about life. We have lost touch of who we are. This is your true nature. Can you imagine how incredible your life would be if you could truly discover your true essence? Your life would totally change. The world as we know it would change. Peace could be on this planet. This is not a fantasy. This is reality. Yet we have simply forgotten who we truly are. It doesn't matter if you are a saint or a sinner. The essence of your being is the same. This book is about rediscovering your true nature. It is absolute good. It is infinite love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, and happiness. These are not just words, but are like the sun's rays. Each day we experience the warmth of the sun. The rays of the sun bring life to this planet. If and when the sun dies, our planet won't be alive. The entire universe contains rays of infinite love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, and happiness. These are the building blocks behind all life. Imagine that the sun in the sky contains these divine qualities. You also contain these same qualities. This is your true nature. Throughout the ages, people talked about how incredible you are, yet at times we haven't listened. We haven't seen how incredible our life could be if we could become one with all life. Maybe we haven't even thought about it. Maybe we go to church on Sunday and pay our respects to God for 1 hour and leave it at that. Yet each one of us is truly divine in nature. I hope this book will help you to unlock the great mysteries within. I hope that you begin to unlock your own doors of existence. Nobody can unlock your doors. Only you can. Yet we can provide inspiration and guidance for you. This is what life is all about. Once we have begun to open our inner doors, we love to help others open their doors. One realizes that giving is our true nature. It's like an apple tree. An apple tree does not hoard its fruit. It freely gives to all. This is its nature. This is our true nature. At times we are so preoccupied with our own existence that we have become self-centered and egotistical. We think that the whole universe revolves around us. This is how a human being, family, community, state, nation, and world can act. We have seen what unfortunate outcomes this has brought us. This book is about discovering another way. It's about discovering your true nature. It's about discovering how incredible and beautiful you are. You are a gift from God. How incredible will be the day when your life directly reflects this. This book is about how to use these universal laws for your own personal growth and development. By understanding these laws and applying these laws, your life will be enhanced. These laws are universal, yet for most of us, we have forgotten them. Hopefully, this book will help you to wake up from your slumber and help you to recognize how precious you are. These laws aren't some kind of rigid code that you live by. Life is not rigid. Life is constantly changing and evolving. By being in tune with these laws, your life will change and you will see the beauty behind all. Each and every day is an opportunity to grow. These sacred laws encompass all areas of our life. By using them and being in harmony with them, you will see how incredible they truly are. The answers exist inside of you. This book, hopefully, will help you to be aware of these universal laws in your own life. By being aware and making small changes day in and day out, your seed will grow. This book was originally going to be something else. I started to think about what I was going to write about it morphed into something else. I had a flash inside that I realized that my book topic was to talk about the laws of the universe and how these laws can help us in our daily life. The more one practices these laws, the more one becomes truly free and is empowered with life itself. Our goal is to become fully aware of this incredible life force energy of love, which is keeping everything alive. All the tools exist inside of you. Your body is hardwired for this experience. Now's the time to take small baby steps day by day in your life. Each and every moment in your life is special. Your dreams can come true. You can learn about these laws and implement them in your daily life. No matter what situation you are in, nobody controls your mind. You will learn how to reprogram yourself for the better. These are exciting times. We truly live in a global village. The secret to life are being open to all. Each one of us has the opportunity to grow. The tools are there. Now we just need to use them. So I sincerely hope that this book will help you in your adventures in life. I hope that you can see that these laws can truly help you and will benefit you in all areas. The more you pay attention and the more aware you are, you will see tremendous changes. They are very subtle, yet over time, you will look back and say, wow, I have come so far. The small baby steps that we take each and every day truly do carry us to our destination. So don't think this is a huge effort that you have to take. Be gentle on yourself. Have you ever dialed in to the source of your life? Have you felt like you had a conversation with your Creator? How would you like to phone your Creator? What would you say? From time immemorial, we have been hardwired for a direct connection to God. You don't even need an operator. God lives inside your heart. You are the temple of God. No temple on this planet is as magnificent as you are. The Creator hides inside of you. The phone has been ringing since you birth. Pick up the phone. There are no collect calls. This call is the most important of your life. Please tell Susie or John that I'll call you back. I've been waiting for this call all my life. Hello? Words cannot describe the joy inside. Direct communication to the heart. Your heart is filled with love. An apple falls from the tree. Truth lies within your heart. The secret of the universe exists inside. Open up the doors within, and you will discover who you truly are. The wise man says, ponder this over and over again. You will discover your true nature.
These stories are meant to be pondered over. They are not just stories. There is a meaning behind them all. This is the definition for the word ponder. Verb: think about something carefully, especially before making a decision or reaching a conclusion. I pondered the question of what clothes to wear to the occasion. Synonyms: thinking about, contemplate, consider, review, reflect on, mull over, meditate on, muse on, deliberate about, cognate on, dwell on, brood on, ruminate on, chew over, puzzle over, turn over in one's mind, overthink. She had time to ponder over the incident. What if I told you the following? You are the universe. You just don't know it. Modern day scientists discovering the laws of quantum physics are saying the exact same thing. Many of them believe the universe is not a series of random events. These events didn't create life. Life itself created life. You are the sun, moon, and stars walking around in a human body. You were never created, nor will you ever be destroyed. Your body will die, but you never will. You were there before the dawning of creation. You will still be there when our universe slept into the night and never to come back again. You see, we are eternal. We are one with each other and all of life. We have been taught differently. You could say our ideas about life are quite archaic. We truly haven't come to a long way since we first appeared on this planet. Maybe in technology and science we came along, yet we are still babies. We are still fighting wars on this planet. 1 out of every 6 children is hungry in America. We make laws for the rich and ignore the poor. I could go on and on. Emotionally, we haven't progressed much. We still fight with each other. We don't know how to control anger. Look at Facebook today. Billions of people are flaming each other. We are adding gasoline to the fire of life. Has the whole world run amok? Yet there are millions of people waking up. Millions realize that they have a piece of the puzzle inside of them. If you want to change the world, you must first change yourself. Only then can the world change before you. You will see the world with new eyes. If you are eternal,
Where were you before your grandfather was born? Where were you before the world was even created? You were the universe. I know that's a lot to take in, yet it's true. If you break down everything in the universe, it comes down to quantum or multi-dimensional energy. Your mind truly can't grasp this, but your heart can. The mind, which is finite, can't grasp something that's infinite. Only your heart can. You see, true wisdom isn't thinking about the infinite. True wisdom comes from the silence within you. You can recite the knowledge of all the books on planet Earth, yet one who has discovered the silence within is truly the wise man. Life is truly a paradox. We all have different lives to live, yet ultimately we are one. There's truly no difference between you and I. We have separate journeys, yet at the same time, we all have the same journey. If we look at the quantum level and multi-dimensional level, our journey is the same. We are one. If we look at the material level, it seems we are all on different journeys in life. The world around us is a whole civilization of people seemingly living in a crazy world. In the East, they call this Maya. Many moons ago, I read this book, The Autobiography of a Yogi. It was written by Paramahansa Yogananda. Yogananda describes this world as watching a movie in a movie theater. You get sucked into the movie, and it seems so real. You cry, laugh, and feel the emotions coming from the actors. Yet, if you turned around, you can see the light streaming from the projector. The light would hit the screen and project moving images. The East had this concept for thousands of years. It's only since the early 20th century that our scientists researched the laws of physics. Back then, they knew that energy is the backbone of the universe, yet we still live our lives in the old ways. You see, the universe is kind, the universe is love, the universe is compassionate, the universe does not judge us. What if I said that this is a journey from darkness to light? What if this journey is meant to discover your true nature? What if I told you that the ultimate goal is to discover you are the universe? You've been living in the material and non-material world for eternity. This isn't your first go-around. This won't be your last go-around. You're on the merry-go-round of life. You will see that this ride is the most incredible ride in the universe. You will discover your true nature. What if I told you that when I was born, humanity was considered doomed? Millions of people believe in the last days of man, yet we are still here. A great shift has occurred. You may not see it with your external eyes. Imagine dusting your house. At first, it seems like you have created more dust by dusting. A huge cloud will appear. Over time, the dust settles. Well, this planet is going through the same transformation. It will take a while, yet the darkness can't live in the light. If you want peace on earth, you must have peace inside of you. You can't have peace on earth if you're full of anger and greed. The universe doesn't have an ounce of anger and greed. We do. Our goal is to pull the weeds within and take care of our internal garden. Just got up. It's 2:22 in the morning. I'm pondering the meaning from me to we. It seems like man has been living the dream for so long. At times it's been a nightmare. At times it's been a beautiful dream. Man has been repeating the same actions for thousands of years. They constantly repeat themselves. Why does man continue to fight wars? Wars have never solved anything, yet they still continue to this day. Each century, our weapons are more sophisticated. Today, we have weapons that can destroy the world 100 times over. Yet, we still are on the lookout to create even more destruction. I love to watch the geese and ducks fly in the sky. My wife and I love it. They fly in incredible formations and can change and morph in many different patterns on the fly. They are in sync with nature. It seems like they are totally united and flying as one. Personally, I think man's problem stems from the fact that we are so identified on me. My nation is better than your nation. My religion is better than yours. I'm going to heaven while you're going to hell. God is on my side and not on your side. It's all me, me, and me. Currently, we have a president who loves to divide the country. He gets a big kick out of this. He tweets whatever comes to his mind. He has no ethics whatsoever. You see, when you aren't aware of your true nature, you act in ways that aren't in harmony with the universe. For example, why don't we elect leaders that are kind, loving, and compassionate? Some are, yet our political system is in shambles. We are totally divided. Our political system is at a standstill. Nothing can get done. Blame is put on both sides of the parties. You see, our mentality is us versus them. We have been this way for thousands of years. Emotionally, man has been stagnant for ever so long. Yet we have progressed in technology. Thousands of people have tried to make this world a better place. The spark of the universe lies inside. This book is about how we can transform from me to we. I believe this is our answer. All the great masters talked about this in their beautiful ways. Man thinks that his consciousness only exists in his brain. He has created himself distant from life itself. According to Einstein, E is equals mc squared. Show me then where consciousness does not exist, inside of a flower or a car. The whole universe is a lie. Man just thinks he is alone. Kindness is the building blocks of life. The entire essence of the universe is kind. We have seen the results of anger and greed upon this planet for ever so long. What has that brought us but misery and pain? So many wars have been fought. Millions of people have died. The world seems to be in constant chaos. We have a president who mocks and ridicules anyone. Unfortunately, many people pick up on this and do the same. Recently, Roseanne Barr was fired from her show because of her racist comments. She said she wasn't a racist, that she didn't mean what she said. My advice is to think before you speak. If you're about ready to say something you might regret, don't say it. Personally, I see that people are so angry. We have a president who we should look up to, but his words and actions divide us all. Without kindness, we lose our sense of perspective. We lose our basic nature of love and compassion. For example, pulling out of the Paris Accord because you think you know it all. You know more than the entire world at large is pure ego. The entire world is not run around the Trump show. Nations come together to help save the world and environment. Because President Obama signed the agreement, he wants to tear it down. The same goes for the Iran Treaty and so much more. Unfortunately, I could go on for days on these matters. What is the answer? The answer is the world needs to be kind. The world desperately needs that. That may seem like a Pollyanna approach, but tell me, has anger and war helped us discover our true nature? It has divided us. It's us versus them. In reality, there is only one incredible planet. We are out of sync with the planet and our true nature. I don't think I need to convince you of that. It's so obvious. Yet, when I say the answer is kindness, so many people just roll their eyes. How can that be? It's too simple. Well, try it for a day and see what happens to the world around you. You may not change the world around you. Nobody may notice you're being kind. But inside, you will notice a slight difference. You'll just plant an incredible seed. Water it daily. Pay attention to what you say and do. Be kind in your words and actions. Over time, your seeds will begin an incredible tree of kindness. Instead of weeds, you will have delightful fruits to offer to this world. You know me, but you don't know me. I have many names. Some call me Gaia. Some call me Mother Nature. Some call me Panchakama. You have forgotten your connection with me. There was a time when we were in harmony with me. Nowadays, you have forgotten who you are and the connection you have with me. I am the mother of all on this earth. Many of the indigenous people around the world still have the connection with me. You call them primitive. Yet, they are highly advanced. You may have technology advanced, yet your spiritual and emotional growth is stunted. For thousands of years, you've been fighting wars with one another. You are sawing the branch that you sit on. Look at how you treat me. You have no respect. I'm not judging you. I just call a spade a spade. You are in the midst of one of the greatest transformations anywhere in the universe. It's happening right before you. Millions of people awaken up from their slumber. You're beginning to realize who you truly are. We are in the game together. You and I are one. I've been around for billions of years. And so has you. Yet today, you are still sleeping and are totally focused on getting by in life. Your ways are backwards. They don't work. Your mirror is cloudy. Every step you take, you are walking with me, yet you are oblivious to this. Your entire society is presently beating a drum that is out of tune. You think everything is well, yet you have forgotten our connection. You have forgotten your true essence. Anger is so pervasive today in your world. Everyone is angry with each other. It seems like in America, people are polarized. They don't listen to each other. In fact, many people have a tremendous amount of hate towards each other. I have love for all. That is my nature. I am patient and tolerant. I am kind. This is my nature. You have forgotten your true essence. Presently, you are a mixture of light and dark. You are going from darkness to light. I am trying to remind you how incredible you truly are. What if you had an Earth Mother who has been here since the dawning of time? I hold you in my arms, yet you don't realize it. You think you are alone. Because of this and your free choice, you have at times tremendous pain. It's hard to be truly happy when your happiness is external. You are like leaves blowing in the wind. You are happy and then you are sad. You get angry when you're in a traffic jam. The wise man would see a traffic jam as an opportunity to meditate and be aware with the eyes open. One would feel gratitude and remember our divine connection. You see, without being connected to your true nature, you will have a hard time navigating through this world. You really won't be in harmony with me or the universe. Need I say more? Take a look at the world around you. Is it in harmony with nature? You have a president who is going backwards in time, undoing all the environmental goods. He is totally out of sync with me. You see, a strong ego can be quite damaging. A man must develop kindness and humility to gain true wisdom. True wisdom comes from within. You know when to smile in the face of adversity. You have nothing to prove. I am what I am. I do not judge. I will give sincere and honest opinions. You may not agree with me. That is your choice. But I am your mother. Remember, there were probably times when you even listened to your worldly mother's advice. At some point in time, you did something and you thought, I wish I would have listened to my mother's advice. I wouldn't be in this certain situation. Well, life is a series of beautiful lessons to learn. We would never stop learning. Listen to the various messages I have for you. I am speaking directly to you. You are on the verge of waking up from your slumber.
The title of this audiobook is The Garden Within. Unfortunately, many people aren't aware of this garden. We live our lives not being connected to our true nature. As I have probably said at least 100 times, you are the universe. You just don't know. Well, what has that got to do with the garden within? To be quite frank, it's everything. Have you ever felt that you are like leaves blowing in the wind? Whatever direction the wind blows, you blow. We have a tendency to react to any given situation. If someone confronts you, you snap back with anger. You have a tendency to speak whatever comes to your mind. You have no control over what you say or do. You only focus on the external. You have no idea there is an internal garden. Consequently, your garden is full of weeds due to neglect. You have had many boulders weighing you down. You have a chip on your shoulder. You fear the future and all its uncertainty. You may have a tendency to use drugs or alcohols to numb the pain within. A good example is the meth and opioids addiction in America today. Millions of people are addicted. The pharmaceutical companies have made billions of dollars making you addicted. On top of that, most of the time, our subconscious is totally in control. We develop habits at a young age. These habits, good or bad, get carried over for the rest of our lives. From the ages of 0 to 7 years, our subconscious is developed. All the good, bad, and ugly gets sucked in. Consequently, our reactions come directly from our subconscious. Without us even being aware, we react. The goal of this book is hopefully to help you, remind you there's another way to live. You can learn to take care of your garden within. You may ask yourself, why should I? I'm content. I don't need anything. Good question. I can only offer you advice. It's your free will and free choice what to do with it. How would you like to be kind in each and every moment? How would you like to experience you are never alone? How would you like to discover your true nature? How would you like to have love, patience, and compassion in your life? How would you like never to get bored again? How would you like to become friends with your mind? How would you like to conquer all your bad habits once and for all? How would you like to learn how to consciously reprogram yourself to change for the better? Just like a software engineer develops software, you can use the same process to reprogram yourself in ways you can't even conceive now. How would you like to laugh at adversity? How would you like to hit a curveball of life out of the ballpark? Currently, if a curveball is thrown your way, you may spend months trying to overcome it. Why did this happen to me? Some people never recover. Some people will resort to drugs and alcohols to cover it up. How would you like to learn to have optimum health? You can learn the mind, body, soul connection to enhance your state of being. You will learn that negative stress releases thousands of chemicals which strongly affect your mind and body. How would you like to feel in harmony with the earth and the universe? What a feeling that would be. How would you like to experience a direct and personal connection with God? Imagine behind your breath lies the answers. Imagine in each and every moment you have a divine sense of humor. You can laugh at light. Imagine loving nature to its fullest. You're totally connected to the earth and its creation. You get totally intoxicated in seeing the geese flying in formations in the sky. You love to hear their honking. They aren't an inconvenience to you. How would you like to dance with life in each and every moment? In each and every step you take, you are grateful to be alive. Life is not a hassle or a burden. You see that obstacles are opportunities to grow. How would you like to see the craziness of this world and yet not get affected by it? You can see your friends flaming each other on Facebook and have such a deep connection within. You can learn to live in the center of the hurricane. The winds are blowing all around, yet in the center lies such a peace. This is your true resting place. How would you like to have a peaceful sleep for the rest of your life? Imagine putting your head on the pillow and not have a care in the world. You don't need any medicine to use to fall asleep. How would you like to be grateful for your life? You wake up each morning with boundless energy. You thank God and the universe for another incredible day.
You affirm that all good things happen to me. I can overcome any obstacle that comes my way. You no longer dread when the alarm clock goes off, and you hate getting up. These are a few things to consider when you are working on discovering your inner garden. You will discover how to go from darkness to light. In each and every moment, you will learn how to cultivate your inner garden. You will learn that this touches all areas of your life. Not one area will not be touched. Ponder this over. You hold the piece of the puzzle within. Only by your will alone can you make this happen. This book is about my love for meditation. I've been meditating for around 47 years. I love to meditate. You could say I have a knack for it. I'm completely drawn to it. Meditation is probably the most practical thing a human can do. It places to have their feet on the ground and their head in heaven. In the beginning of my practice, I thought there was a special technique that I could use that was beyond all others. There must be a technique beyond all techniques. The more I practiced, I came to the realization it's our sincere effort and love that makes our experience grow. Granted, some techniques are simpler than others. I gravitate towards the simple ones. Life is simple, yet our lives are quite complicated. Look, I don't have all the answers. I'm not a guru or teacher. I'm an amateur. An amateur is one who loves to do what he is doing. I love to tell my story and hopefully inspire you to start on the journey of looking within. On this journey, you will never know exactly how far you have traveled. You see, it's an infinite journey. You are eternal. You will never die. Your body will, yet you are eternal. You are the universe. You just don't know it. I've included all sorts of different things I've learned about meditation on this journey. Some of them are in poems. Some of them are chapters I have written about meditation previously. Some of them are talks that I gave to myself. Did you know you can learn a lot by listening to the words you say? Personally, day by day, my intention is to grow in each and every moment. I try to learn from my mistakes and constantly grow in the process. Meditation has been practiced for time immemorial. It's a place to discover your true nature. It's a place to realize that we are all one and unified by the thread of love. I hope you will enjoy this book. Ponder over these words. I'm not trying to convince you. There's nothing to convert to. This is your true nature. We are all surfers in the ocean of life. Each of us are riding the waves in our own and unique way. This book, Surfing Tales, is my own journey in learning how to surf with life. In this book, I'm going to talk about many different experiences. I will pay tribute to my fellow surfers who are no longer with us. I will talk about my journeys, both outward and inner. I feel so fortunate to be alive. This life is an incredible blessing. This book talks about my major joys in life. They are surfing and meditation. These are hobbies for me. I hope you enjoy this book. Some will probably like it, while others may ho-hum it. We are all so different, yet we are the same. And that's a paradox. Yes, life is a paradox. The older I get, I see that our intelligence would never go far. It's only when we combine intelligence and the heart together can we understand the secrets of life. So I hope you enjoy riding this wave.
There's a snowstorm going on outside. I couldn't even get out of my driveway if I wanted to. This book, Happiness, is a composition of all the various times where I talked about happiness. This goes back 25 years to the present. I hope you will reflect and ponder over what I'm presenting. I'm not trying to convince you or convert you. Happiness doesn't need convincing or converting. We all strive for happiness in our own unique way. This is what I have discovered for myself. Conscious politics is slowly appearing on the scene. What exactly is that? Well, our founding fathers had a vision of a government for the people, by the people. Currently, we have a government which is totally divided, and both parties hate each other. The endless bickering and stalemate goes on. Need I say more? Conscious politics is driven by being aware and acting from a state of emotional maturity. What is that? It's living and breathing in a state of patience, tolerance, compassion towards others. It's actively listening to someone without judgment, that because his ideas are different, therefore he is evil. A conscious person can bend like wheat blowing in the wind. He can smile and laugh at a diversity. He has nothing to prove. His ego doesn't get fluffed up like a peacock. Granted, this will take time. Pockets of this is happening around the world. New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is a prime example of this. She believes that kindness should be a foundation in politics. She said that kids are raised to be kind, yet in politics they are trained to be mean and demean your opponent. This is my journey on seeing my view of the world in politics. Of course, this is my view. I'm not saying your view is wrong. We need to see through different viewpoints and learn how to compromise in politics. Ultimately, we all want a better world for our children and grandchildren.
A few days ago, I saw this post from a classmate from my high school. Marion McNaughton's brother died while on vacation in Mexico. Received the very sad news that my oldest brother David passed away while on vacation in Mexico. You are never prepared for losing a sibling, no matter how old you are. He is safely home now, where we'll be with him again one day. I replied with this post. Prayers are sent your way. To be honest, I wish I could have been more helpful. What do you truly say when a loved one has passed away? I hope this book will be helpful for my family and friends. We are at an age when our parents have left us, and many of our friends are long gone. The quest of mine started when I was around 10 years old. Somehow the topic of death came up. I was told that when you die, you no longer exist at all. To be quite frank, I didn't buy that. This is where my journey started. These are the materials I wrote on life and death. I found out this is not a morbid subject, but an understanding where we came from. We come from the universe, and we return to the universe. As you can see, the title of this book is called The New Human. This journey started trillions of years ago. Yet, let's go back around 15 billion years to the time this earth was created. You were there, not in human form. That would be billions of years later. Yet you existed as an infinite spirit. You were the universe in all its glories. You helped create this precious earth called Gaia. You see, you are eternal. You were never created, nor will you ever die. Humans come upon this earth billions of years later. A sacred seed was planted inside of you. Let's fast forward to the present. It seems like our world is in total chaos. Our past has been filled with great traumas and war. What if I told you that 99% of the people are good people, while 1% of the people have been bad apples? Unfortunately, the 1% have ruled man for thousands of years. Look where it's taken us. Yet, at the same time, the seed is still lying inside of you. It's only dormant. According to most indigenous tribes, that if humanity survived past 2012, a new dawning of man would occur. The seed would slowly begin to sprout inside the hearts of mankind. I mean slowly. 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards. This is how humanity grows. This seed contains the universe. This seed contains the absolute love of God. This seed contains pure kindness, love, patience, and tolerance. This is your true nature. Mankind is transforming into a kind man. You may say, all I see are people flaming each other on Facebook. All I see is chaos everywhere. Yet the sun is appearing on the horizon. It's going to be a glorious day. Can you see the golden rays appearing above the ocean of life? A brand new day is coming to man. Granted, this transformation will take time. Remember, this is a journey. What would a journey be
without a great adventure. You are part of this journey. This story is all about you. This story is about darkness and light. You see, darkness has no place to hide when the sun starts to shine on this land. Look at the world today. So many dark events are being exposed to the world today. No longer can darkness hide upon this land. This book will contain stories and poems about this new human evolution. Follow me where we are going on this precious journey. You are the main character.
You are hardwired to discover God. Come sit around the campfire for this incredible tale. It's all about you on this journey in life. We were never taught this in school, yet all the great masters talked about this. The signposts of God are all around, yet we don't have the eyes to see. This book will talk about the present-day people who are discussing how we are directly hardwired to find God. It will also go into the scriptures where the evidence is provided where to find the kingdom of heaven. All the major religions are talking about the same thing. They just have a different way expressing it for the particular time and culture. Yet the essence is the same. I believe that today, we as humanity is at a major turning point in our evolution. With the advent of the internet almost 30 years ago, we are at a forefront of really communicating and understanding each other. We are a global village, yet we see the chaos in the world and think there's no hope left in this world. The sun is rising in the horizon. Darkness has nowhere to hide. We're seeing this in all areas of life. Darkness is being exposed. Look at the news today, and you will see it in every area of life. A scandal has been exposed. I see great hope in humanity. Granted, it will take a while. Remember, this is a journey. What would a journey be without having a grand adventure? We are on the journey of going from darkness to light. In a million years, we'll see how far we have gone. Yet each decade going forward, we will witness the consciousness of man's going towards the light. Humanity takes 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards. That's how we grow. From an individual to a nation to the world, we learn by taking baby steps. We learn from our mistakes. This is how we grow. I hope this book will help you on this journey. It has a different point of view, yet millions of people are waking up from their slumber. It doesn't matter what religion or non-religion you believe in. Each one of us has our own unique way to discover our true nature. I believe that it's by your will alone that you take your steps to understand your true nature. The following poem reflects my viewpoint. It's been there all the time. What are you talking about? What's been there all the time? You are the universe. You just don't know it. There are about 7 octillion atoms in your body. All our atoms are billions of years old. At the deepest level, you are the universe in human form. Wow, isn't that incredible? On top of that, you are hardwired to discover your true nature. The signpost of God all around you and inside of you. Yet, we are talking on our phone while driving down the freeway of life. The greatest miracle of life is keeping you alive. You are magnificent. Every single cell of your body is custom designed by God. You are infinite. Your body will someday die, yet your true essence will go on forever. You have the opportunity to discover your true nature. Behind your breath lies the answer. What is keeping you alive? All the great masters have said to be aware of the essence of your breath. Behind your breath lies your true nature. Infinite kindness, love, and compassion. This is the water that will put out the bonfires of anger and hatred upon this land. The sun is appearing on the horizon. Mankind is waking up from its slumber. We are going from darkness to light. Darkness has nowhere to hide. Discover your true nature. It's been there all the time. Ponder this over. It's been there all the time. The greatest game is being played right between your eyes. Intro. How to use the quantum field? That is the question for this book. Mystics have talked about this for thousands of years. Lo and behold, the kingdom of heaven exists within. All the great religions talk about the inner kingdom. The Taoists have the following saying: the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. The name is the mother of 10,000 things. Ever desireless, one can see the mystery. Ever desiring, one can see the manifestations. These two spring from the same source, but differ in name. This appears as darkness, darkness within darkness, the gate to all mystery. Modern-day scientists call this the quantum field. Einstein talked about this over 100 years ago, yet our day-to-day life really hasn't changed much. Quantum field is a multi-dimensional energy which exists in all dimensions. We don't have any instruments to detect it yet. Scientists knows that it exists. I'm not kidding when I say you are the universe. You just don't know it. It's been there all the time. It's been there all the time. What are you talking about? What's been there all the time? You are the universe. You just don't know it. There are about 7 octillion atoms in your body. All are billions of years old. At the deepest level, you are the universe in human form. Wow! Isn't that incredible? On top of that, you are hardwired to discover your true nature. The signposts of God are all around you and inside of you. Yet we are talking on our phone while driving down the freeway of life. The greatest miracle of life is keeping you alive. You are magnificent. Every single cell of your body is custom designed by God. You are infinite. Your body will someday die, yet your true essence will go on forever. You have the opportunity to discover your true nature. Behind your breath lies the answer. What is keeping you alive? All the great masters have said to be aware of the essence of your breath. Behind your breath lies your true nature. Infinite kindness, love, and compassion. This is the water that will put out the bonfires of anger and hatred upon this land. The sun is appearing on the horizon. Mankind is waking up from his slumber. We are going from darkness to light. Darkness has nowhere to hide. Discover your true nature. It's been there all the time. Ponder this over. It's been there all the time. The greatest game is being played right between your eyes. We are on a journey going from darkness to light. We're being guided, yet nobody can take any steps for you. You see, you have free will. Yes, God is your co-pilot, but you have to open the inner door and back out your car to take a divine spin. Signposts are all around on the freeway of life. You just need to be more aware and conscious. There will never be a time where you clap your hands and say, I know it all. This book will give you helpful hints on your journey in life. Intro. How to manifest your dreams? That's a very good question. What kind of dreams do you have? Why don't my dreams come true? I say affirmations, but do they truly work? I live life day to day. I don't think about my dreams. I have dreams, but I truly don't know how to manifest them. Is there any scientific evidence and techniques that help in manifesting my dreams? Mankind has been dreaming for a better world for thousands of years. Unfortunately, wars have been around forever so long. It seems chaos is prevailing upon the land. Yet, this is the struggle between darkness and light. You are a precious piece of the puzzle. When a person begins to align his dreams with the quantum field, one's life begins to change. A transformation occurs from me to we. Slowly, over time, an individual realizes that we are all one. An individual begins to transform his or her dreams to a dream for all humanity. Yes, this will take time. Baby steps are needed. 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. This is how we grow. This book, hopefully, will help you discover that there is a process that will help you to manifest your dreams and change your life. Just think, all the thoughts that you had since being born make up your personality. Yet most of the time, we live our lives in remote control. Our subconscious runs the show. 95% of our actions are driven by the subconscious, while only 5% is driven by the conscious mind. Experts estimate that the mind thinks between 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. That's an average of 2,500 to 3,300 thoughts per hour. And that's incredible. Other experts estimate a smaller number of 50,000 thoughts per day, which means about 2,100 thoughts per hour. Yet how many are new thoughts? We have been playing the same record for years. We have the same exact routine. We go to bed. Our alarm clock goes off. We use the same hand to shut it off and go back to bed for 5 minutes. The alarm goes off again. We shut off the alarm. We stumble out of bed and go to the bathroom. We brush our teeth. We are trying to wake up. Off to the kitchen we go to brew some coffee. It's time to head off to work, just in time for rush hour traffic. We make a few phone calls along the way. Some of us text when the cars are stopped. We make it to the office and do the same dull routines. I can go on and on. We are our own pharmacy. Every day our bodies create hundreds of thousands of chemicals. These chemicals create strong emotions. Say, for example, you are angry. Your emotional state will be angry. Therefore, you will have angry thoughts. These thoughts will then create angry emotions. We are caught in a cycle. The goal is to be free. The goal is to be in tune with the quantum field. In order to manifest your dreams, there is some work that needs to do. This book will help you along the way. It's just a foundation to help you on this journey of life. You may ask why a book is named Cloudy Thinking. Imagine we've been playing the same tapes for thousands of years. We have fought countless wars. We still continue to fight countless wars with no end in sight. War is obsolete. It serves no purpose. As a matter of fact, it even causes more problems. We've been fighting in Afghanistan for over 17 years. It's the longest war we have fought. We still can't see the finish line. I was in Afghanistan many moons ago. They are extremely friendly, yet they have fought countless wars from outsiders trying to take over their country. I remember when the Soviets tried to take over in the 80s. The first thing that came to my mind was, good luck. You have no idea what you're getting yourself in. They found out the hard way and left the country, never to return. We should have learned a lesson here, yet I call this cloudy thinking. If you ever saw the movie of Charlie Wilson's War, you'll understand the truth of this statement. Charlie had a bill to help Afghanistan after the Soviets left the country. Congress never passed the bill. Over half the population was under 21, and consequently the youth was not brought up properly. In came the Taliban, and the rest is history. There are so many parts to cloudy thinking. Some is pure ego and arrogance. Presently, the world thinks that the U.S. is a bully. I won't get into that. Yet I firmly believe with kindness, the world will I firmly believe with kindness, the world will go on. Without kindness, the world will go on with its same old ways. Kindness blows away the cloudy mind. Even scientists know that. Anger causes the body to be flooded with over 1,500 harmful chemicals which damage the mind and body. The mind becomes cloudy. The mind can't see and think clearly. The Buddhists have a book called Crystal Clear, which talks about the steps to develop a clear mind. They have been practicing this for thousands of years. I find it fascinating that in the East has been researching positive states of mind for thousands of years. It's only been since the 70s that the Western world has embraced this. In the West, we thought we had all the answers. Many people still think that way. Many people are oblivious of another state of mind. I heard many years ago a poem from Rumi. He said, how strange is it for a fish to get thirsty when water is all around? imagine the quantum field is all around us, yet we are oblivious of it. Now, that's ironic. This book will talk about ways to develop a clearer mind and the various manifestations that could take place in our society today. Only you can change your way of thinking. Nobody can do it for you. Intro. The title of this book is Over the Hill. Not. Our Western society is totally driven and fixated on being young. We have an expression that when a person reaches the age of 40, he is considered over the hill. Many people say that half of your life is over. For many people, they think, my life is half over, and they have a midlife crisis. At Google, many young software engineers start to feel obsolete at 29 years old. A great sense of paranoia sets in. We are fighting a losing battle. We come into this world, live, and someday we leave this world. Nobody can escape that. Yet, at the same time, we try to hold on to our youth for as long as we can. I remember when I was just starting to learn how to surf. When a person reached the mid-50s, mid-30s, they would retire from surfing. I lived in Maui in my 40s, and I rode waves as high as telephone poles. A dear old friend named Rick Shadowlawn is still surfing in his late 60s. Times have changed, our attitudes on life have changed. This book is about thinking outside of your box. To be honest, the Western world has a warped attitude about the elderly. In our working environment today, there is a huge age discrimination, especially in the IT world. By the time one reaches the mid-50s, you are considered over the hill. You are washed up and have no place inside of the company. I experienced this time and time working for different Fortune 500 companies in America today. When a person reached the mid-50s, they were put out to pasture. Mind you, they might get tremendous severance paid. In order to receive it, you must sign a document that you will not sue them for age discrimination. This happened to me and countless others. I once had a job interview with a company that was owned by Dell Computer. The first interview was over the phone. Before we hung up, he said, "This was the best interview I ever had." The next day, I walked into the office for my face-to-face. As soon as I walked into the door, he looked at me and his jaw dropped. He wasn't expecting someone my age to come in. As a matter of fact, he couldn't remember the phone interview we had the day before. In my mind, who is older? Someone whose mind is constantly learning and growing, or a mind that has certain concepts about someone who is older. This is the epidemic today in America. Hopefully this book may provide some great advice on your journey in life. The majority of people live their entire lives in autopilot. We watch the latest drug commercials and take it all in. When something goes wrong, we go to the dear old doctor who will give you a pill. Mind you, this pill has tremendous side effects. Yet, we trust the medical profession. They would never mislead the public. Did you know that if you don't pay attention towards your health, someday disease will pay attention to you? This book will help you get wiser with age. Our mind can get much better as we age. We can never stop learning. A person who completely retires from life will soon end up in a box. I mean this quite literally. When one learns new things, the brain establishes new neural networks. Even when you think something out of the box, instantly a neural network gets created. Yet, in a space of a few days, one doesn't pay attention and not do anything about it, the neural network will collapse. All your positive and negative habits are neural networks. They're literally hardwired into your brain. If you want to enjoy life to its fullest, we must understand the mind, body, and soul connection. We must learn how to be conscious moment by moment. We must be aware. Remember, 95% of your actions come from your subconscious mind. We're living our lives in autopilot. We must learn how to reprogram our software in each and every moment. To be honest, most of humanity doesn't even have a clue how to do this. Recently, I saw a great article where we see only 1% of the light spectrum. This means we are almost missing the entire picture of life. Yet, we think we see it all. I find that quite fascinating. As I said before, the human body is hardwired and has the software to discover the quantum field. The human body is literally hardwired for this. The door is always open, yet do we have the eyes to see? Ponder this over. What do you think? Intro. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Just think they waited for 50 years to win their next Super Bowl. Wow, the city must be on fire with happiness. I must admit, I'm not a football fan. As a matter of fact, I've only seen one game all the way through. This was the playoff finals. I watched the Super Bowl final differently than the average fan. You could say I have a different mindset. You see, I've been meditating for around 49 years. It is my passion and hobby. When I watch the game, I can see the incredible aspects of the game. This is a highly evolved chess game. It's like in the Harry Potter movies. The monsters are alive, the chess pieces. I started to watch the game with earnest. During the playoffs, I saw the Chiefs come behind by 20 points, and they won the game. They were playing the Tennessee Titans for the AFC Championships game. During this game, I saw that the team who was in tune with the quantum field had a total advantage. So you're probably saying, yeah, you're crazy, but please listen. I'm sure that all teams know they have good days on the field and off days. Even during a football game, the mindset constantly changes. As I watch the AFC game, I can see whether either team was in sync or not. Call it what it is, but intuition is the key. Without intuition, you could never win the game. At some point in time, the KC Chiefs were in the zone. They could do no wrong. This is a mindset. Every team yearns for this. Every fan yearns to see this. It's quite complicated and sophisticated. Tim Galloway was at the forefront back in the early 70s. He wrote the book, The Inner Game of Tennis. He's still at the forefront of this amazing mindset. Many coaches are using his system today. Tennis is both a mental sport and a physical sport. Your mental state of mind will determine the outcome of the game. This is the same in all aspects of life and sports. With football, it has a much bigger impact. Imagine you have multiple high-speed trains going directly at you, and you have to throw the ball or run for dear life. You must be calm and serene, and yet you have a few seconds to respond. The average person would have a panic attack. We couldn't survive the collision of 3 tacklers hitting us at once. This is far more difficult than a bullfighter. With a bullfighter, at least there's just one bull. But in football, there's a gang ready to pull you down. Yesterday's game went back and forth. There were times that both sides were in total control. To be honest, Patrick Mahomes had a hard time getting into the zone during the first 3 quarters. There was a point during the 4th quarter that the Chiefs were behind 10 points. I didn't see the sparkle in Mahomes' eyes. I wasn't feeling well, so I went to bed. 10 minutes later, my wife screamed and woke me up. I couldn't believe my eyes. The entire team was on fire. I could do no wrong. The San Francisco team couldn't believe what was going on. They ruled the entire game up until this moment. Games are won and lost in a matter of seconds. This book is my perspective on what I saw and helpful hints for the future. It may sound crazy, but the quantum field is known and unknown to us. Mostly, we perceive it on an unconscious level. The teams of the future will tap into it consciously. The teams that do this will have an incredible advantage. We are just skimming the surface. We think the game is merely physical, yet there's a universe behind it. Infinite possibilities exist. I hope that you enjoy this book. It's quite different, yet Tim talked about this 48 years ago. We are still at the beginning stages of embracing this knowledge. Intro. Here's to life. Cheers. Just think millions of people are at their homes in isolation. In fact, in Italy, the entire nation is. In the United States, it remains to be seen. Millions of people are in panic and fear. I'm writing this book to hopefully shift your attitude. Panic and fear will never get you far in life. The world has been living in a whirlwind for ever so long. We are caught in the treadmill of life. We are so busy we can't even listen properly to our minds and bodies. The body is saying, slow down, get some rest. I can't keep up with you. Something is going to give. I like the expression, give the body proper rest, or disease will come in and force you to rest. In our world today, common sense is uncommon. Why is this happening in the world today? In this book, we will discuss this. I have a different point of view. It's not all doom and gloom. I saw this on Facebook today. Breaking news. Going outdoors, not canceled. Music, not canceled. Family, not canceled. Reading, not canceled. Singing, not canceled. At times, we have lost the simple things in life. We need to restore our connection to what really is important. Many people dedicate their entire lives to their jobs. Many people get sick in the end. I have some friends who have died from overworking. Your company doesn't care in the least. They probably think if you're stupid enough to do so, we don't care. Yet they are the ones who don't provide more employees to get the job done on time. This is happening all around the United States. In Europe, they have a totally different mindset. They actually believe in work-life balance. Personally, I believe that nature is talking to us. We might not understand it. Then indigenous people have been talking and listening to nature for thousands of years. We call them uncivilized. Yet we don't even marvel in the precious breath we take in each and every moment. How many times in a year are you conscious of your breath? The same power that keeps you alive keeps the universe alive. Nature is alive, and we are texting on the freeway of life. Look, I don't believe at the end of the world scenario. I do believe that nature gives us signals to stop in our tracks and gather wisdom. Mother Earth talks in subtle ways. At this moment, nature is not subtle, yet we, as humans, are not getting the message. Millions of people are speaking about the same things I am speaking about. It's time to stop in our tracks, which nature has presently done, and change for the better. Hopefully, we do change. We have the opportunity at hand. Let's not go back to the same old when this is over. Nature will try other ways for us to realize our magnificence. Just think, we didn't need World War III to change. There is an revolution that doesn't involve weapons. It just needs us to discover our true nature. It's like we evolve, or someday we perish. Mother Earth will be around for billions of years. We might not. This choice is up to us. You are the universe. You just don't know it. I know that you're probably rolling your eyes, yet just talk to a quantum scientist, and he will tell you the same. Intro. I have always been fascinated by the East. As a young child, my parents had a statue of the Buddha and a painting of Kuan Yin. Sitting on my bookshelf lies a copy of the Tao Te Ching. It has been sitting there for many moons. Mind you, many of you probably weren't born. It's been that long. My favorite part is the opening. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. The name is the mother of the 10,000 things. Ever desireless, one can see the mystery. Ever desiring, one sees the manifestation. These two spring from the same source, but differ in name. This appears as darkness. Darkness within darkness, the gate to all mystery. Whenever I read this, it sends shivers down my spine. How eloquently said. This was written by Lao Tzu about 300 BC. I love good mysteries. My brother and I are extremely curious. Ever since I was a kid, I actively pursued the great mysteries. About 6 months ago, I started to do a Qigong practice. I love it. I've been practicing every day. Recently, with a worldwide shutdown, I had some time on my hands. In my morning meditations, I thought I would read the Tao Te Ching and absorb it. I find scriptures fascinating. There is a great mystery to be solved. Each sacred book talks about, in their own subtle ways, how to discover the jewel within. Lao Tzu was one of them. The most books ever sold, the most books ever sold except for the Bible was the Tao Te Ching. It was sitting on my bookshelf waiting patiently for me to open it up. The Tao is ever so patient. It took billions of years for man to appear on Earth. Modern-day scientists and mystics are talking about the Tao using a different way of expressing it. Scientists call the Tao the quantum field. This field exists beyond time and space. It was, is, and will always be. It exists in all dimensions. Yet centuries before Christ, the sage, discovered the Tao, or the way. It wasn't a philosophy. They had first-hand experience of it. These teachings are more relevant today. The world is in chaos. The Tao Te Ching can help humanity to discover the jewel inside. Remember, you can talk about a mango, yet without trying a mango, it's just book knowledge. The Tao is a practical path. At times, I think humanity wants to give their offering once a week and call it quits. Maybe this worldwide shutdown will be an opening call. Only time will tell. There are 81 short quotes. I'm putting my commentary for each. I use the word ponder a lot in my writings. I'm pondering deep inside myself to understand this precious wisdom. I don't want to skim the surface. Anybody can do that. I want to discover the pearls of wisdom for each one. I hope you enjoy the book. Intro. The 16th century Spanish mystery, St. John of the Cross, said the following for the definition of a mystic. A person who seeks by contemplation and self-surrender to obtain unity with or absorption into the deity or the absolute, or who believes in the spiritual apprehensions of truth that are beyond the intellect. When I was a kid, I had the intense yearning to discover my true nature. I knew we had 5 senses, and at the same time, we had 5 internal senses. Don't ask me why, but ever since I was young, I knew that as a fact. I've been meditating for around 49 years. You could say it's my lifetime hobby. My 3 hobbies are meditating, surfing, and ethnic food cooking. Ever since I was young, I had a knack for it. You could say that I'm constantly learning and growing. It wasn't until a few years ago I would even consider myself calling myself a mystic. Yet since I began my daily writings in 2017, I began to see that this label did fit me to a T. Mind you, I've been writing for around 30 years. The last few years have been an revolution for me. I think writing and meditating blend well together. Meditation through the years allows one to dive deep into the ocean within. Writing allows one to dive deep inside and bring precious wisdom to the surface. Personally, it brings greater wisdom because I can learn from my writings. So much what we know is on an unconscious level. Writing allows one to bring the unconscious thoughts to the surface. It's another form of self-discovery. I love the work of Carl Jung. Imagine our conscious mind is only running about 2% in our daily lives, while the subconscious mind controls the rest. I find that fascinating. This book pays honor to those who think outside of the box. Many you may know, while others you probably don't. They are quite diverse. My understanding and experience are there is a thread of love tying us all together. We are on the same boat sailing home. Nobody is better than worse than another. Each religion has a certain point of view. Each one has a different and unique piece of the puzzle. It wouldn't be a puzzle without individual pieces. Meditation brings clarity and wisdom to see the jewel inside each tradition. I find it curious that religions will fight with each other. Governments will harass different groups that are different from theirs. Yet, mystics don't fight with each other. There is a common bond that ties them together. I've included all sorts of people who you might say are not mystics. Yet in my definition, a mystic is someone who thinks outside of the box. Artists, musicians, and inventors. Anyone in life who is free-thinking, in my eyes, is a mystic. May 11th, 2020. Great project. I've had this on the back burner of my mind. As you know, I wrote the book Family and Friends a while ago. In the next month, I will have posted all my entries on Facebook. My next project will be, hopefully, you. I would love to do a book, an audio book, all the creative endeavors of my family and friends. It could be a recipe, a song, poetry, photograph, or anything else. The sky is the limit. Each one of us has ways to express our true nature. Many of my friends are getting up in age. I would love to see treasure chests of creativity from all my friends and family. If you have a song or poetry, the following formats are supported: MP3, WAV, or FLAC. Also, the words should be included. Hopefully, if the response is good, I can have all this material for the future. My plan is each day to release something you did on Facebook. I think it would be a great project to do. Even surfers or body surfers could submit photos, videos, or stories. The goal is to show our creative expressions. We don't need only rock stars to be creative. So think it over. Message me on Facebook if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Also, if you have short stories or anything creative, it would be a pleasure if you included it. Let's see where the project takes us. Each one of us has a piece of the puzzle. Intro. Synchronicity is a concept first introduced by analytical psychologist Carl Jung, which holds that events are meaningful coincidences if they occur with no causal relationship, yet seem to be meaningfully related. A few months ago, my dear friend David Schweitzer told me that his wife Sherry was just finishing up a year-long course, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. I was intrigued. I always wanted to know more about it. All my spiritual practices use bits and pieces of it, yet I never studied the complete picture. So 2 weeks ago on Facebook, I stumbled upon this post. It was a free 11-day course presented by the Art of Living Foundation. It was a talk presented by Sri Ravi Shankar. Talk about synchronicity. Perfect time. Now, this is an online course. I'm taking it during this global shutdown. I signed up on a Friday, and the course started on the following Monday. This course was given in 1995 in Switzerland. Granted, that's 25 years ago, yet the content hasn't changed in over 2,500 years. Usually, the talk is around 45 minutes to 1 hour, with around 15 minutes of group discussion. I would highly recommend it. The discussion talked about the key components of his talk. One way I learn is by writing and teaching. A few months ago, I wrote a book called The Way. It was a commentary of the Tao Te Ching. This book was written by Lao Tzu over 2,500 years ago. In the 70s, Jane English translated this book. It was considered a classic for its time. It's still considered a classic. I'm slowly but surely trying to connect the dots between spiritual traditions. I've been posting one chapter a day from my book The Way and Diary of a Kabbalistic. This book is about Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Don't let that title scare you off. I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can. I'm stripping out most Sanskrit words. This book was one of the original texts to help mankind on the road of life. It provided helpful hints for mankind to discover the jewel within. This ancient wisdom is the foundation for millions of people around the world. Many people use this wisdom, yet they don't know where it came from. I was one of them. I actually used this practice in my life, yet I wasn't aware of where it came from. Mind you, for over 48 years, I've been using these practices without knowing the source. What is the central theme of this book? Why was it written in the first place? Man has been fighting for thousands of years. Nothing good ever comes out of the war. Yet we continued fighting for thousands of years with no end in sight. Where does war first start? Inside of our minds. The Eastern world has said for thousands of years that conquering your mind is the most difficult thing to do in the universe. I have friends who tried to meditate in the 70s and gave up because they said they didn't know how powerful the mind is. This book will give you tricks of the trade. Mind you, even knowing the tricks of the trade won't do you any good if you don't practice them. Most of mankind are reactive beings. We are like leaves blowing in the wind. We react to each and every situation. If someone does something you don't like, we automatically explode and put gasoline on the fire. Our subconscious runs the show. 95% of our actions are dictated by our subconscious, while 5% is from our conscious mind. Our subconscious contains the good, bad, and ugly in life. From 0 to around 7 years old, the mind would absorb everything like a sponge. At that point in time, the brainwave state is theta. Theta is the sponge that soaks it all in and passes it to our subconscious. A wise man lives in the center of the hurricane. The winds of the mind are howling. Its stillness lies inside. The Yoga Sutras provide practical, down-to-earth advice to take you on this precious journey of life. The human body, mind, and soul are all interconnected. Our present state of living is in total chaos. We take responsibility for our own welfare. A few years ago, I worked on a firm that developed software for heart surgeons. Each step of the way in the operation, a series of questions and steps would be presented to the surgeon. Anyway, I casually talked to the CEO of the company. Why isn't preventative medicine more pervasive? He told me that nobody wants to take responsibility for their lives. They want Western medicine and doctors to fix them. Well, no wonder we have such immense problems today. Common sense is uncommon. We have lost touch of the building blocks of life. Man builds sandcastles in the sand. The tide comes in and washes them away. There's no foundation in place. Look at the world today. A global shutdown is occurring, and Mother Nature sends all of us to our rooms to think things over. Yet we get bored. We can't see the forest from the trees. Most of humanity never stops and asks questions like why this is occurring. We live in automatic mode. Did you know that systems were put into place thousands of years ago? These systems provided practical, down-to-earth advice to help you in every nook and cranny in life. All help and guidance were included in these systems. They were never taught in our schools. Consequently, our world is in chaos. We are human beings, but currently, for thousands of years, we are human doers. What do you do for a living? Currently, youngsters go from one activity to another. By the time they are adults, this is embedded directly into their subconscious. The state of being is forgotten. Humanity has lost the jewel. They think it exists outside of them, yet the jewel exists inside of them. This ancient book provides pathways to discover the jewel. I say this a lot. You are the universe. You just don't know it. Most people roll their eyes when I say this. Michio Kaku said the following. In string theory, all particles are vibrations on a tiny rubber band. Physics is the harmonies on the string. Chemistry is the melodies we play on vibrating strings. The universe is a symphony of strings, and the mind of God is cosmic music, resonating in 11-dimensional hyperspace. I love this example from Paramahansa Yogananda. Another time, I was sitting in a movie theater watching a movie on a screen, and then I looked up into the projection booth. I saw that the projectionist was not interested in the movie, because he has seen it over and over again. Instead, he was reading a book. The projector was doing its job. There was the sound, and the benefit of light was casting realistic images on the screen, and there was the audience caught up in the drama. Now the wise men of old and the quantum scientists are both talking about the same thing. But there is a huge difference. The quantum scientist looks external, while a wise man looks within. The sages throughout time would talk about our true nature, yet the majority of people really roll their eyes when hearing about this. Here's a poem I wrote talking about the jewel within.
Intro. Here we are, amid a global shutdown. At least 30 million Americans got laid off. Most of these people can't pay their bills. Congress is bickering with one another. Here's an excerpt from Forbes magazine. Billionaires are getting richer during the COVID-19 pandemic, while most Americans suffer. Billionaires are not in the same boat with the rest of us, as we try to navigate the treacherous currents of the COVID-19 pandemic. They're smoothly sailing in luxury yachts, while most Americans are doing
the doggy paddle, treading water, and just trying to stay afloat. According to the Institute for Policy Studies, billionaires' wealth has boomed while over 26 million people have filed for unemployment since mid-March. The percentage of taxes paid by billionaires have fallen 79% since 1980. From the start of March to now, the group of billionaires' total wealth has increased by 308 billion. Billionaires boost a combined net worth of $3.229 trillion, and their collected wealth skyrocketed up 1,130% between 1990 and 2020. To make matters worse, George Floyd was murdered by 3 police officers. This started protests not only in America, but all around the world. Unfortunately, many of these became violent and mass rioting occurred with the destruction of property. This is a sad time in America. Today is June 2nd, 2020. This is the headline from CNN. Trump responds to protests with the Strongman Act. Trump on Monday turned security forces on peaceful protesters in front of the White House as tear gas and rubber bullets flew before declaring himself the law and order president. Then, in one of the most bizarre moments in modern presidential history, he strode across the park to stand in front of an iconic church holding a Bible aloof in a striding photo op. It was a moment of vanity and bravado, orchestra for the cameras and transparently political as Trump struggles to cope with protests sweeping the country after the killing of George Floyd and try to cope up his botched leadership during the Corvallis pandemic. Overnight, the White House official Twitter account released a triumphant video of the moment set to music, but omitting any signs of the mayhem unleashed on the protesters. Where does this string of unending violence come from? We have peaceful protesters and policemen joining in the protests. Here's a picture of the chief of police for Santa Cruz, California, kneeling with protesters. On the same hand, we have the following report reported by CNN. Video appears to show New York Police Department truck plowing through crowd during protests. Police were investigating after a video appeared to show a New York City Police Department truck plowing through a crowd during Saturday's protest over the death of George Floyd. The 27-second video, which was posted to Twitter, shows a New York Police Department truck in front of a crowd throwing objects at the vehicle. There is a barricade in front of the trucks. The truck then appears to dive into the barricade, knocking over protesters. Screaming and yelling are heard while a person is seen jumping on top of the truck. It's unclear if there were any injuries. Where in the world today when it pertains to violence? Even if we had no wars in the world today, would we have peace? The answer is no. Peace is not the absence of war. Peace lies inside of you. Each individual chooses whether to have peace or violence. It is a state of mind. Unfortunately, we are not taught that in school. We are never taught that we are the creators of our emotions. The fight of two wolves within you. An old Cherokee
is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, said to the boy. It is a terrible fight, and it's between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continued, the other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. This is as simple as it gets. Whatever you feed will win.